What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Simple Minded Podcast, where ignorance knows absolutely no bounds.
We're episode like 52, 51?
I don't know. Episode of Mountain Trail Mix is what it is.
53.
53, I was close.
No, this is 54. The last one was 53.
Yeah, and if you're starting out with us, we recommend you hit the like and subscribe button. Would mean a lot to us.
It's very much
If you're
appreciated.
listening to us on the pod stations like Spotify and Apple Music, we recommend you go check us out on YouTube. We just started out a new channel. So
You want to guess? So, remember how we were bragging last time how the pod got, it was like 37 views or something?
Mm-hmm.
We also advertised it. You got to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to some, not a lot, but to some extent it was in more places. It didn't just upload. This last one, we didn't really advertise, right? Like, none of us posted on our story, said go watch, nothing like that.
it's true.
Let's take guesses on
High-low.
the views.
I'll go first. 3.
Is it more than the amount of peanuts in my hand?
I'm not counting.
I'm not
Also
counting.
talking to the mic.
Communications major. It takes Elliot forever to.
5.
So 4 and 5.
I said 3, but
Oh.
okay.
You said 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
Neither was anybody on the podcast.
It actually got 13,
Oh.
but it went like 2 days with 0,
Oh.
or like a day and a half. So it's been out for 4 days. It has 13 views.
Nice. That's pretty good. We take those W's.
Yeah.
That's
Not bad.
13 people.
And
who
none of
watched
those are
this.
me this time.
None of those are me either.
Last time, 4 of them were me.
I did watch it once.
I
I was
didn't,
at work doing nothing.
I didn't do anything.
So we're moving up in the world.
Yep.
And we're up
Baby
to 10
steps.
subs.
Heck yeah.
Hey, you want to start like?
And
start
we're
from
only
0.
6 of them, Ricky.
I'm not any of them. I probably should subscribe, but yeah.
I'm one of them.
I think I'm 4 of them.
All right,
Oh my god.
boys. So, crazy stuff happened this week. Did you hear that the mask mandate in airplanes was struck down by a judge?
So I was curious because, and it was like in the middle of the day, like that day I was on the bus with the mask, and then one of my friends from college, Tony, was like, "Bro, did you see where the mask mandate is down?" I was like, "No, they delayed it to May 2nd again, like 5 minutes ago." He's like, "Nah, bro, check it. Gonzo." I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure they delayed it again, like 2 days before it was supposed to come up, because like that Monday, that was the, I shouldn't say the original, but that was one of like the dates they set, like, oh, this is the date,
Yeah.
before it was like March 15th, something like that. And then they delayed it to
Then they
April.
delayed it to April 18th. They pushed
Yeah.
it back a month. Yeah.
And then like a week before April 18th, they're like, we're gonna push it back again May 2nd.
Right.
And apparently, like a federal judge in Florida,
She was like, no. I don't know why. I don't know. Do you guys know like her basis behind?
It was probably because the way I look at it is it's very a slippery slope to allow a government agency to say,
No, that's right. That's
here's
right.
this is a deadline. Oh, we're setting this deadline, and then every time you get close to the deadline, pushing it back.
No, yeah. I think I remember seeing something about it where it was like the government was stepping out of its right to keep like pursuing this when it's not a real threat, or something like it was along those lines.
It was like as the government, because it makes the government say, is it like, oh well, we're gonna do this, like, but is the government really gonna do that? Are they gonna do it last second and change the numbers? It's like, oh, like the budget for insert this is gonna be $1 million. Actually, we're gonna drop the budget. Like that's.
Yeah.
I think that's that the government. I don't think the government should. That's something to do. If you say you're gonna do it, you should do it.
especially the second time, or
especially
the
the
third, whichever one it was at this
I don't know
point.
what it was, but like when I saw they delayed it to May 2nd, I was like, it would have been okay if the first delay was to May 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you delayed it in like 3 days, I should say 3 days. It's like 4 or 5 days before you delay it again. That seems to be like you're overreaching your power.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about the second delay. Like it had gotten to me that it had been struck down before the second delay got to me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's because like it doesn't affect you. I mean, you're not on planes, you're not on public transportation, but like people at tech, it affects us because probably over half the tech students you take the bus,
Right.
and that's a transportation, it's federal, so we have to follow it. And there's even a big thing about when tech lifted its mask mandate, people stopped having them on the bus, and they're like, no, you have to have them on the bus or you get kicked out. It's federal stuff. Like I got an email about it. It's like you must have your mask on the bus. So it was pretty like in like me, my peers' mind because it affects us.
Right.
So that's why I say like 5 days ago they moved it because I was constantly going up. All right, when's the mask mandate end? When's it end? When's it end? Then I saw moved it May 2nd. I was like,
so where'd you see they were moving it? Because I'm with you. I don't even know what you guys are talking about
I just
right
looked
now.
it up. I looked it up, the mask mandate, and it'll be like New York Times or like CNN. It'll be like it's moved from May 2nd.
See, I never saw that. I saw
I
it
didn't see
immediately when it got struck down. Saw it everywhere.
But that's probably because like I don't know about Hunter, but like I know you're on the gun
on
side
the yee TikTok.
on the yee TikTok, so you're gonna see it eventually. It's like shoot yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Florida, shoot yeah. Like you're gonna see that. The same way that I saw they moved it because of like who I talk to, who are like I'm around.
Right.
You didn't see it because it doesn't affect you and doesn't really affect the people you saw on TikTok. However, when it was struck down, that was a win for that side.
Yeah.
So they're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I still agree with it though. Like I was like, I mean, like
at this point,
everybody sits because like, oh, I take the bus with the same people every day. Not like like every Tuesday I take the same bus with the same people. Every Thursday I take the same bus with the same people.
Yeah.
And then I walk off the bus, rip that mask off,
and never touch it again.
and like never touch it again. And majority of the time, I walk through this like it's like, oh, I saw vibrations today. Yeah, I walked to the same class with some people.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of saw it as at least for like my situation, I kind of saw it as this is kind of pointless, and it's just tech students. No one.
Well,
there might be two people in this town that actually ride the transit.
Yeah.
All of it's tech students.
Yeah.
And we're all always packed together.
Well, if you remember back when all of this was starting, they were saying that airplanes were one of like the safest, most ventilated places to be anyway, like in terms of like just being somewhere because the circulation in the cabin is filtered so heavily.
Yeah, I think it has to for something.
Yeah, but I was watching, I can't remember, it might have been Joe Rogan talking about just mask inconsistencies, and he's like, it got to a point where it was like made no sense.
Well, so the problem with it is I think the government's just like lying for the sake of like general public health. So remember in the beginning of this, they were saying wear a mask, wear a cloth mask, so on and so forth. It's fine. They said that because it was probably safer. Like even if I'm getting at, it's like they said in the beginning that please wear a cloth mask and you wear it, and at the end they're like doesn't really do anything.
It's probably a mental thing.
It was probably a mental thing, and B, they either didn't have enough research or just like just wear a mask.
Just do it.
Just wear a mask.
All right.
All right. And when you get to the people, it's like, well, why'd you lie to us? Which that's fair.
You know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's fair. Why'd you lie to us? Why do you want us to wear a mask if it doesn't really do anything? But the government's like, or the CC is like, just wear a mask. If everyone's wearing a mask, maybe it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably like a part of it, but I don't know.
But do you think that's okay? Like, do you
No,
think,
no, I
do you
don't
think
think government
being
should lie
lied
at all.
to for the sake of like the betterment? So like, say telling people to wear a mask made the general population feel more comfortable. Do you think being lied to by the government is
But you're
just,
saying they knew for a fact it didn't do anything.
yeah,
And they
okay, completely
Let's put that in there.
complete hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Say masks did nothing. Say the N95, like the mask that's actually supposed to stop that stuff, did nothing. All of it did nothing. But nobody knew it. Nobody knew whether or not it worked.
It actually worked.
Yeah. Is it okay for the government to be like, wear it, and everybody feel better?
No.
I think it depends. I mean,
I say no. I don't think it's ever good to lie.
there's some.
I mean,
All right,
some
let's say-
occasions, but not like that.
So let's say like an asteroid's coming in Earth and like
Even if it kept everybody calm?
yeah,
Like
let's-
at what cost?
So let's say the U.S. government finds out that there's an asteroid that's going to hit Earth in 4 years. 4 years. NASA does it. Only NASA knows. They go to our glorious leader, and
They
say,
tell him, he forgets it, nobody ever
no,
does it ever again.
no, they tell him it's like, oh, sorry, this is the wrong room, Mr. President. Where's oh, next room? That's the council. Okay. They go to them. They talk to them. It's like, hey, in 4 years, an asteroid's going to hit the U.S. and it's going to like destroy the Earth. Should the government tell the people that the asteroid's going to hit Earth in 4 years, and tell NASA to work on a solution, or should they say, NASA, shut up and work on a solution? Which one do you think? Like, because like not telling.
See, I feel
not
like that's
telling-
an easy call. I feel like you just don't tell people.
Yeah, but that's omitting the truth. That's lying.
No,
You're
but
lying
you
to the people.
Yeah, but
And let's say there's always that some nerd.
No, see, I wouldn't say that's lying. Would
Let me
be is if
finish.
you get asked in a press conference if an asteroid is going to hit the Earth and you say no.
Yeah, and let's say some
but
nerd.
I still think that's justifiable.
Some nerd at Harvard is like, some guy sitting there,
It's like twitching.
sitting there with his like off-brand microscope, going, "Oh my gosh, and he goes and he like spreads it and so on and so forth. Then the Earth government, is that okay for them to lie?
Well, hold on a second. Do they tell Elon about this asteroid?
No, this is that. That doesn't matter at all.
Taking out the only person that can fix the problem. You're taking them out of the equation.
This is not.
All right,
it's
well,
not
what
part of
we
the
doing?
hypothetical. The hypothetical is NASA. Sure, SpaceX helps them.
Okay.
Everyone's
okay.
like, hush, hush. We need a rocket. We need a solution. Make it. Then some guy at some news conference says, "Hey, is there an asteroid that's coming to Earth in 2 years?" Do you lie?
Yes.
I say no.
I say yeah. Obviously.
Obviously, you lie.
If you lie, it's gonna be
no, you just.
I mean, if you don't lie, it's like, yeah, we got 2 years. We're working on a solution. People are gonna ask, like,
remain
what's the solution?
calm. Don't loot and kill everybody.
Yeah, it's like people are gonna ask, what's the solution? What's going on? What's the problem? What's going on? And then people at NASA, people working on it will then be harassed. You're working at NASA. What are you doing? What's the solution? What's going on? It's better just to keep it quiet, work on a solution, and tell people after it's been solved.
I like as
I
much.
mean, that's like what it goes back to the COVID thing, and now you
Yeah,
have so many
that's-
people
that's-
mad because of misinformation.
Yeah, that's
So I mean, either way,
yeah, that's my
the
point.
point.
That's my point is after they figure out is like, you lied to us. And his government's like, well, yeah, we lied to you. We
Mhm.
thought it was the best. And the problem is, are the people who make that call. People make the call like at CDC, they're like, or they knew, or like the government knew that the mask didn't work. It's like, if it makes everyone calm down, wear the mask. You know?
See, but I think the problem is it's not the initial telling people to wear the mask. It's all the inconsistencies and people calling them out on it being like sitting down and taking it off at a restaurant. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you just want to follow the rules.
That never made any sense.
That never made any sense to me.
Yeah, it never made sense to me either. I didn't get the you must wear a mask walking to your seat, but not when you get to your seat. I didn't get that.
No. Hunter probably did.
I don't know. Unless because you don't
See,
breathe on other
say,
people when
say,
you walk
say.
by.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
I guess, but it's like one of those things where like, I think that was a part of it was big business saying, well, that's cool and all, but we want to make money.
They don't.
And-
I don't think it was big business saying they want to make money. It was normal people saying I want to survive.
That's what big business would say. But I'm 100% sure Jeff Bezos was like, well, yeah, no, we should keep mailing stuff. Yeah, definitely. Even if people like know what the mail is like infected. Yeah, we should keep mailing stuff. I don't think, granted, that's kind of but still, like overall, I think Big Ruby Tuesday was like, no, we're opening up.
Big Ruby Tuesday.
That's the joke.
I
But,
think
like,
Big Ruby Tuesday was like, yeah,
and
baby.
they're like the people, and granted, like a lot of people are like, yeah, we want to go out, but the government's still like, still, or CC was like, just still a problem. That was a middle ground. That was all right, fine, open up the restaurant, but you gotta wear a mask in it. And they're gonna be like, well, we can't eat. Well, it's like, well, Mr. President, we can't eat with the mask. I was like, then take off the mask when you're eating. Gosh, that's what it was. I bet.
It
I don't
was like,
want to assume,
at
but
my
I
old-
assume that's what. It
At
is.
my old job, we had like software meetings where we would all meet in like a group setting,
Yeah.
and we'd all have to wear our masks until we sat down together and ate. And then after we got done eating together, we would put our masks back on.
Oh, that was really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think the inconsistencies is the worst. The worst part of all of the mask stuff was the inconsistency. Like
Mhm.
if it was a strict like you wear the masks.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we don't want to eat together. It's like, well, we can't eat together. Eat in your office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That would make sense. But they were like, they want to have their cake and eat it too,
Mm-hmm.
which comes from people like, well, I don't want to wear a mask. People like, oh, I do want to wear a mask. Everyone should need to wear a mask. And I think that's probably where the inconsistency is coming from.
But
like some guys say, "Well, I want to eat with all my teammates. I want to know."
Yeah, but see, I think that was the flaw in all of it.
Yeah.
Just like with the airplanes and the buses here recently, and taxis and public transportation, the whole world has stopped wearing a mask. Why are you still making these people wear?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter like if you're in an Uber and you get off Uber and you just go to a rave,
Yeah, I think hop right back in the Uber.
Right back in the Uber. I mean, I guess it's to help the Uber driver, but I mean, the guy who's in the rave is just kind of what's one more?
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder how many times the government's lied to us.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm on a TikTok of hating the government TikTok, and I'll get like TikToks like why I don't trust the government. It'd be like this list of like CIA projects or stuff like that. It's like that's cool.
Yeah.
I read half of them. I think we even did a study on it at our high school. Elliot, there was like one of our teachers was like, "This is what the government did. Lied to all these people, tested them. This is pretty messed up. This is what we don't want to do." It's like interesting.
I was watching a Joe, or was listening to it today at work, Joe Rogan podcast where he was interviewing an astronaut, and they were talking about how different countries like shooting off rockets and what.
Talking to the mic.
We really need headphones. If we had headphones, he would realize that none of us could hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, then he was talking about different countries and them setting off rockets and whatnot. How the United States shoots rockets off, like close to oceans and everything. And he's like, because public safety, they want everything to land in the ocean. Like
right.
If anything happens,
it's convenient.
And he's like, the Chinese, they don't care. They shoot rockets off wherever. And then Joe Rogan had his guy pull up like he was like, I don't believe that. He was like, do they really? Like, do they really just let the debris fall on people? Yep.
Yeah, we've all been like, not to be a China lover, but like, there's always this argument that I see that China right now is the same way the United States was right after World War II, of not caring. It's like we do what we want, blow me, type of thing. Which I was thinking about, I was like, it is kind of true. Because the United States, like, yeah, we just installed a dictatorship in Chile. It's like, the leader of the free world installed a dictatorship in South America. Well, yeah, they like us, and they give us cheap bananas. And like look it up. That's yeah.
Is that right?
And there's a lot of that stuff, and like without a doubt, I bet if you walk like through like the South mid. Like the Arizona, all that place, you want to say, that's metal debris. That's metal debris. I mean, like, granted, it's all probably like gated off by now, but like 100% we did that. Russia did that not too long ago.
I thought they dropped all their bombs in Siberia, in the middle of nowhere.
No, I was talking about Russia. I think they missiled one of their satellites.
Their own satellite?
Yeah, I mean there's so many.
I don't
know. I think it might have like it probably was. I think it was a show of 4 saying that we can hit a satellite, and they just let the satellite fall to Earth. They didn't do anything.
Nice.
And we were like, hey, it's cool and all you hit a satellite, but what's really not cool is that could have hit a city. And that would have been not cool. And Russia was literally like, I don't care, and we were like, fair.
Well played.
We were like. Yeah, we don't care enough about this. We do that all the time. There's so much junk in our like space. It's apparently pretty bad. I never like look up. I always hear like space nerds being like, it's so hard for like satellites to orbit the Earth because they might hit another satellite. Satellite as in like junk.
Yeah,
but,
crap.
Like, crap.
Satellite in the sense of what a
because
satellite
like
means. Yeah.
because like in the early days when we sent up like the first satellites, especially the Russians, if it didn't work, we were like, well, anyways,
there it is.
There it is. Yeah, it's broken. Well, anyways, like, what do we do? Like, get it down? I mean, no, we just leave it up there.
So, do you think we'll ever get to a point in our I guess existence where we have ships in space that clean up space?
Yeah.
Think so?
I mean, like in like a million years, something like that. Star Trek, like dates probably.
I think it'll be.
Did you see WALL-E? I saw WALL-E. That was part of it. pretty sure. Like
So this
all
was
the
scary.
junk and like trash that was like on Earth stuff.
Wall-E, OG movie.
I mean, eventually we got to send our trash somewhere. Everyone's like, we'll just shoot
How
it in
come we
space.
don't shoot it in space? You ever thought about that?
Expensive.
Oh.
It's probably
Yeah,
really
probably is.
expensive.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like sooner or later it will be like cheap in like quotation marks, as in like we have 15 billion things of trash, and we're gonna use this off-brand SpaceX rocket that's been decommissioned for 30 years. We're just gonna use that. We're just gonna chuck it out in space.
True.
I think that'll happen before everything becomes either biodegradable or recyclable on a.
You have to think,
Macro
what's more
level.
likely, us taking the easy way out or us taking a hard way out? Which is
You
hard.
only have to
Depends
get
Which
in
one do
the
you think?
office.
The thing is,
Depends who's in office.
no. The thing is, which one's cheaper and which one's harder to do?
Which one's gonna
If
make
it's
more
cheaper
money
to
for the US
use an-
government?
Is it cheaper to use a old SpaceX rocket that's been sitting in Arizona for 10 years or 30 years? Just put some trash on it, launch it. It's been sitting there, or like for us to like put in research. I think maybe hopefully that's the goal. Like
Let's put it all on the moon. Trashy
let's not
moon.
do that. Let's not do that. It's not the moon. That's right there.
Let's send it a little bit further. Let's go to Mars.
Yeah, like sent to Mars, sent to like. And I always wonder what happened if like something went through Jupiter. Actually, they probably couldn't, but like we just like throw something on Jupiter. 'Cause this,
Probably burn up. Why don't we send it to the sun?
I mean,
Isn't that so far away?
It wouldn't matter.
it wouldn't matter.
No, but I'm saying like it's so far away. You were just talking about stuff being cheaper. Like
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
we get
you
to
wouldn't
the
have to
sun
fly
right
it
now?
to the moon. You shoot it
You
out
shoot it to
there
the moon.
and it
You-
starts going.
what is you do some math because like nothing slows down in space. It's the whole thing. You do some math. It's like, well, even if you use like the most off-brand, like Blue Origin rocket on the planet,
Dang.
you can be like, well, and it goes to me
he's out
get a
here
job
coming
there.
for heads.
It's like all right, well, in 10 billion years, it will hit the sun, and that's it. So you shoot up rocket, it'll fly forever until it eventually hits the sun. So it doesn't matter how long it gets there.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Like you don't have
You
to
just- you
use fuel.
you
You just
just-
shoot it to the sun.
You throw it in probably a flight calculator and go, nope, okay, and you shoot it in the sun, and eventually the math will work out. It'll hit the sun. That's good. There's probably some reason.
Yeah, it's not. You know how much trash we have? We have a
A
lot
lot.
of trash.
Yeah.
So that's probably.
You
The
have to
reason.
be building rockets all the time just for trash.
No, you use reusable rockets.
The fly in the sun, Elliot. I don't think it's gonna
you
work
let
out.
go of it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so.
I
So
mean,
we have dumpsters that detach when they hit the certain orbit.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Elon's
Elon-
shooting stuff up and bringing stuff back now.
Elon did that. No, this
That's
whole car thing.
Yeah.
He shot his car up in space and brought it back. But
No,
the
he
other
didn't
one he
bring
bring
the car.
back.
Car's still up there.
No, I mean not the car, but he brought the rocket. Did he bring that
I-
rocket back?
I don't know. I think he landed a rocket here
He did-
recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did land a rocket because I remember he had been complaining about. It. It's like 10th time the charm.
Only
And-
only
and, like,
$1 billion
he's-
a launch.
Yes, and, like the interview was like, how much does each rocket cost? He's like, you don't want to know.
But I mean, the fact he could bring something, bringing it back,
Landing it.
landing it
It's not bringing it back. We did that shit all the time. Landing it.
is where it's at.
Landing it's the hard part.
Would be really cool when he sends the same one back.
Oh yeah,
That would be cool. First reusable rocket ship.
Well, the reason I don't reuse them because it's like it takes way too much work. That's why it's taking Elon forever to do it. We can do it obviously because Elon did it,
Right.
but like from NASA's standpoint, the whole point of the rocket is to get up to a certain speed, and after that, we don't really need it. Like for example, like going to the moon, we need the hardest part is actually leaving the Earth. Because the amount of force it takes to leave the Earth is like outrageous. So like after you leave the Earth, you don't really need the rocket anymore
Right.
because space. And
No resistance.
No resistance. So
Hmm.
which is cool.
It is cool.
I was like speaking of like rockets and stuff. I was like we're doing ethics in one of my classes now, which are terrible because we do the same like ethics, like engineering ethics.
So
We do the same thing over and over again. Like the walkways in that one
stretch of
one mall like in the 80s. You know what I'm talking. You've seen it before. Like killed like 300 people. And like they used,
I do know.
they
it
like
wasn't in a mall.
like the sea chambers were.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and it had something to do with the structural engineer. Yeah,
Yeah, because
What
like
happened?
so
it like fell or something.
Oh.
so imagine like three floors, right? That's
Mhm.
being held together with like one bar or one like pillar in between, so that each floor force is canceled out by the pillar, right? So like force down, force up, pillar, so like everything stays. But what they end up doing was instead of having one pillar between all three floors, they did a pillar for the first floor and did a separate pillar from the first floor to the second. So the second floor was being held up by the first floor, and the third floor was being held up by the second floor. So two floors were being held up by one floor, which is not good. And
Think about it this way. See, like nobody in here can see it, but there's pillars down through my basement. If you go upstairs, there's pillars that coincide with each of those pillars. That's what holds up the house.
Coincide or it's the same?
No, they're
It's
like
one beam.
no, they're not one beam because those are metal.
Yeah.
But the loads transfer straight down through.
So this load didn't transfer straight down.
no, it transferred from floor to floor. Actually, yeah, it
They were
transferred
in-
from floor
so
to
like
floor.
think of load-bearing walls that didn't have load-bearing stuff on them.
Yeah, so the first floor had all of its load okay, but all the other floors was connected to the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two floors. Better example, imagine you're rock wall climbing, and you have like the line that connects all of y'all, with that creates tension and everything. So when you're going up the rock wall, so if you fall, you're okay. You just like go back up because you have like the line. Imagine instead of having it connected to the rock wall, it's connected to your ankle. So if the guy below you falls, you fall too. And that's what happened. And also, you're also pulling up the other guy because the line's around your ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are you carrying yourself, you're also carrying two guys below you by your ankle. Instead of it like
Now just flip that completely backwards.
Yeah.
So the first guy is the bottom floor.
yeah, but like that's the way like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and we were also doing like
I don't remember like the specifics of why.
they're all the same. And
Somebody
I
caught something somewhere.
Wait, so what was the point of that?
the whole point I don't know. I totally forgot.
Like, where were you
I was
going with
eventually going somewhere with that, but
You're doing something about.
oh,
engineering
it was
ethics.
about the U.S. government lying to the people about one of the rocket launches. It might have been the Challenger. It was the one where the morning was too cold, and the engineers were like, "Hey, it's a real cold morning in Florida right now. We can't do the rocket. The rocket, it will blow up." And the government was like, "No, it's fine. It'll be fine. We'll tell everyone it's fine. It'll be okay."
Blows up.
It wasn't fine. The engineers were right. It blew up. And the government was like, "How could you let this happen?" And the engineers were like, I told you. And they're like, well.
He may
So-
die.
The Challenger blowing up? Yes.
Mhm.
Is that the one that had the
The
people?
teacher.
on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know the name, so like.
Yeah, I'm 8% sure it was called the Challenger. And that then ruined the budget for NASA. It was it's like nothing now.
Mm.
But granted, we don't really care with rockets anymore. So like kind of be, loser USSR,
Yeah.
Like they they dismantled, so we're like, we don't have to waste the money on it anymore.
True. Did you know that so like SpaceX, Blue Origin, whatever, all those are like private. It's like the private space race
Yes.
right now. It's always been like that. Did you know that? Like all the rockets and stuff that NASA's used are not NASA's. It's not NASA's stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
One of the reasons why I knew that, I forgot until you just mentioned it, because NASA works in meters and millimeters. So NASA works in millimeters and meters. You know who doesn't work in millimeters and meters? U.S. companies. You know who builds a rocket? U.S. companies. So like I don't think it was like a whole rocket. I think it was like one part. And they were like, yeah, here's a part. And NASA's like, this doesn't fit. It's like, yeah, it does. We made it exactly the way you want it made. Like, no.
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 No,
I
it
said
doesn't.
4 meters. This is 4 feet.
Close enough.
So yeah. It's weird to think
Imagine
about
them
though.
making like a million parts.
Well, I doubt there's a machine shop at NASA.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, I guess there is, but I doubt
That must
they use
be
it.
just like an amazing undertaking.
NASA or doing the rocket?
Doing the rocket, doing cars, like all that stuff.
Have you seen like the whole like rabbit hole about how like the rockets are based off of like this one horse in like the 1300s or something like that?
A horse?
Huh?
Yes, because they say like NASA had to build the rockets to fit on railroad tracks because
Right.
that's how they transported the rockets at the time. So like they had to go through like they had to be railroad track width so they go through the tunnels.
Okay.
And then it's like, all right, well, how was a railroad track determined? Well, it was determined based on wagons, which are based off of horses. There's a whole lot of like stuff in between about like the Roman chariot, which is like based off of one horse's ass.
So it's
Just
just
the same way like horsepower is based off like one random horse.
that can pull some stuff.
Yeah.
Forever
so
ago.
like it was like this big like history rabbit hole. It was like because of the chariot, because of this, one horse's ass determined the width of a rocket that took us to the moon.
Man, could you imagine being that horse?
Yeah, cause the like the railroad tracks are like a weird number
Mm-hmm.
because they're based off of like having to fit like a wagon, which is based off of this, 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 based off of horse's ass.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I should really go down like the rabbit hole again and realize what like exactly each one of it is. But that's basically like
Think about how
the
much.
too long
but
didn't
there's-
read.
There's,
There's a lot of stuff like that.
There's probably so much stuff like that.
Yeah, just like a rabbit hole of like, well, we need a base. Like, oh, we need to do
We
this.
need a baseline.
Yeah.
I wonder how the first car was. Probably about something about. I wonder if the first
bet-
car was designed same way. Some poor horse.
I bet the width of a car is the same as like the first car is probably the width of a wagon.
But what's a wagon based on?
Horse's ass.
Horse's
Did you
ass.
not-
We didn't-
not
we
pay
just-
attention?
It was a rhetorical question.
Gosh.
I was impeding the point.
Yeah. Technically, two horses' asses. I think. Is that how a wagon?
Usually,
You fit-
I mean,
I thought you were talking about
Depends.
chariots here. Chariots.
Yeah,
one
but
horse's
that's
ass.
that's what it was. It was like, well, because the Romans built the roads in the UK or Britain, and they used that to fit a chariot, and the roads in Britain were used based off of to make up the wagon. So there's like the chariot to the wagon to like something else to like, oh, we need to make railroad tracks. All right, well, we already have this. We just use the same thing.
Everything's accommodated to what they have. Why rebuild roads? Just make your vehicle the
Yeah,
side of
like
the road.
it's like why redo our entire infrastructure?
just build stuff.
Just
that
build stuff
accommodates
that accommodates it, makes it sense.
it. It's deep. It's really deep if you really think about it. Wonder why doors are 3 feet wide.
There's some stupid reason, I bet.
Mm-hmm. But that's like stuff I'll wonder now. Like why is stuff the way it is? Why are steps 6 inches and not 7?
I think 6 inches, 7 is probably like, so this comes to a point where you take a step where it's so long, your brain goes, we're falling.
No, you do that because you're accustomed to 6 inches. If it was 5 inches
Oh.
or if it was 4 inches, so say it was a third of a foot instead of a half foot, or say it was 2/3 of a foot, or like,
It was probably based off of one guy who didn't want to hit his shins.
some short dude.
It must be. I don't like. Only at the time, like humans have grown taller over time now because like proper nutrition and everything like that. So probably, I bet that's what it is. Some guy didn't want to hit his shins. It's like, whoa, what? It's like,
Well, have you ever been
All right,
upstairs
it's
in
like-
a really old house,
like,
like
did
a
you s-
really old
so-
house?
did you
it's
see-
super steep.
yeah. Did you see Grug's stairs? Yeah, man. I like them. I don't hit my shins on 'em. We should all make all of our villages stairs like Grug's. You know, it's probably like that.
2-to-1 slope, baby. Yes, sir. What?
I'm gonna look that up. Why is
Yeah.
this? Why is it that way?
Where do you find these rabbit holes?
Either like
What is your hold on a second. What is your YouTube like?
I don't watch
so
rabbit holes. I watch
there's-
like 2 videos a day.
There's 2 reasons.
One when I eat
A,
breakfast, one when I eat
it's-
supper.
it's YouTube, or B, I'd be like with me talking about like jaguars and stuff. Like, what's the difference between a jaguar and a?
And that's how I got on the same topic.
I was like, well, no, I'm not doing anything. Well, I have work to do, but nevertheless, let's figure out.
So you think about it, then you research.
Yeah, it's
You
usually what I
don't
do.
usually just run across it.
See, but I'm playing. I don't listen nearly as much music as I used to at work. Now I just play like
Oh, I play documentaries.
Like, yeah, I play they're not really
video essays.
I play video essays at work.
What is a video essay?
Where they just talk about things.
It is quite
Is that
literally
like a podcast?
No. It's
like
quite literally an essay that some guy
has written.
So an audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's an audiobook.
It'll
be like a video essay on season 2 and 3 of SpongeBob. And it'll be like, Steven Spielberg eventually went through E.T. and this and this happened.
It'd be like listening to a podcast on a specific topic by one person that goes into detail about the topic. So
It's quite literally, I guess you're right, it's like an audiobook. It's quite literally some guy reading an essay.
That is curated, like, it's his.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever watched one.
I like them, dude.
I do too.
I'll send you a playlist of I have. I did at work, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, I listened to a good one about Kids Next Door and how it ended. It started getting a rabbit hole. Like, there's a whole
Talking your mic.
There's a whole group of people that still like K&D, and the producer like came back and dropped a bunch of hints that there's gonna be a reboot of it, and then like
never happened.
It was deep. It was like a 30-minute one.
I think they're bringing back Futurama, which, if you ask me, should be dead.
I don't like Futurama.
I think it's mid.
Get into it.
I think it's okay. It's very like a nerdy thing, but I saw it was coming back, and I was like, just let it die.
Did you watch Disenchantment?
I did, and I hate it. Did you watch new season?
Which new season?
Well, that came out like a month ago.
Yeah, probably.
It's terrible.
Yeah, the first season is the only season that's good.
Well, like, I like this newest season. I just found it was boring.
I don't even remember what happened.
Exactly. I don't either, because like I remember I watched it with my girlfriend, and I was like, nothing happened. It's like the difference between me watching this and not watching this, nothing in the story changes. Like, literally nothing happens in the story. So I was like, oh, are they just out of ideas?
Yeah, I think it needs to die.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was going with, but yeah, video essays are nice. They're just like a.
See, I feel like that's something you would get into. Just like a random video essay.
Podcast. If I listen to anything, it's podcast.
I guess there's a national like progression in the pipeline of like.
I mean, I've listened to audiobooks before.
See, I think you start off with primitive technology, and eventually you just work your way through like YouTube, like how to make ice cream. Eventually, you get to video essays, in that pipeline of YouTube.
Mm-hmm. I like historical ones that talk a lot about like random things that have happened to people, or
yeah, I think I went on
unnatural occurrences.
I think I did like on one video essay about this one time in history, like Julius Caesar was like wanted this guy dead, or at least everyone thought he wanted him dead. So when this guy arrived in Egypt, the Egyptians like, this is before like Rome conquered Egypt, is kind of how it happened. Egypt was like, well, we have Caesar's #1 guy. He gets here, let's kill him and give it to him as a gift. Caesar came there, received the head of the guy he supposedly hated, and then he conquered Egypt because he was mad about it. Because apparently he was like, I didn't want him dead. I just wanted him.
Yeah.
And Egypt's like, uh-huh. So you with that legion behind you,
What are you
a
doing?
social visit? then they took
I watched
Egypt.
a whole entire, speaking of video, this is actually pretty interesting. The Knights Templar. Did you know
Isn't there multiple?
that it was like the first like banking system ever? So you know what the Knights Templar is?
No, in life I actually do not know. Surprisingly,
So it was established by the Pope. There were these group of people that
around like 13 AD.
it was a long time ago. It was back when the Holy Wars were still going on and that stuff.
Yeah, 13 AD.
And essentially there was these guys, and they were soldiers. The Pope kind of granted them special authority.
What was it like? I was like, all I'm saying is someone should hold the money. And
No,
since
no, no,
I have the
no.
sword,
No.
I think it should be me.
No. So their goal, the Templars' goal, was to protect people on their way to the Holy Land in Jerusalem.
Yes.
Okay.
To conquer it.
Well, yes, but they were to protect people. Okay, and then so the Pope gave them special privileges, like
Yeah.
they didn't have to pay taxes, but they're also like they couldn't marry. And there was a bunch of stipulations.
Well,
of
like
whatever.
like normal like with the powers like the Pope could give you. You know,
Yeah,
everything that he could, he gave to him.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. They were basically invincible, is what they were in terms of like
power. And
power. And they set up little houses. They're like kind of like Assassin's Creed. You know how you have like your little Assassin's Creed
kind of like little satellite houses.
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
set up satellite
all
throughout Europe. So
Yeah.
they did this all throughout Europe. And what they would do was, once they conquered the Holy Land, and before Jerusalem got invaded by the next group of people that were running the place.
Yeah, it's insert here. It
Yeah,
happened
well,
a lot.
They would allow people to come to these little houses, satellite houses, and trade all of their goods and services, like all their goods, all their gold and everything, for a letter of credit. And then those people could travel to Jerusalem and exchange that letter of credit for gold and stuff. So they could make the journey to the Holy Land, exchange everything in England, make the journey to Jerusalem, bring out all their money there.
Give it back.
And they didn't have to worry about losing it or getting it stolen on the road.
Because the Templars are doing it.
And it was all controlled by the Templars. They loaned money to England. They loaned money to France. They were literally invincible until France got mad at them and called them all gay, essentially, and literally had them killed. Because like
I was gonna ask,
they couldn't get married, and then France had taken out such a big loan with them to fund the war against England that basically the French king was like, we have to do something about these people because they were literally holy.
Did these like last like 200 years?
It lasted a long time
because like I think the big before England took over France, we watched a movie on that on the plane.
We did.
We did. I remember that. But before England took over France, like France was like, we need money. So maybe that's where they took it from. France also turned into the Holy Roman Empire for a second. Maybe that was before or after. But that's interesting.
But it was just and it was basically a video.
I could definitely see the France going, well, I just did the math on how many Templars they are and how many we have, and I don't think I'm going to pay it back.
Yeah, that's essentially what it was, and they just the King of France basically accused one of the head Templars of like a bunch of horrible things that didn't happen, or that supposedly, like, no one really knows if they happened or not, but essentially it caused the whole downfall of the Templars. So like the Pope disowned them, which once that happened,
France had a lot of power.
They also had considerable debt because they were going to war left and right.
Yeah, it's Europe. But if like they had to have enough power for the Pope to be like to just own the Templars. Like even if
called them gay.
Yeah, but like even like still like the Pope has so much power, like especially in Italy, they'd be like, yeah, France is lying. Time to go to war. They owe us money. Mm-hmm. If France didn't have power, that's what would have happened. They would have invaded France.
Right.
Templars would be like, oh, I'll show you. They would have done something about it. But since they didn't do something about it, France obviously must have had a big army from all the
money they've been
spending.
Yeah. And it was really interesting because the whole premise of the video was like, are the Templars still around? Because they were such a prominent piece of history there for like a few hundred years. And undoubtedly, there was a sector of the Templars that was in Spain or whatever it was at the time. I don't know if it was really called Spain.
Insert somewhere here.
Insert somewhere here that was Spain at the time. Mm-hmm. Shipped them all somewhere. I think it was, they either moved to like South America or I don't know if it was somewhere away. I don't know. Maybe it might have been Africa, but I don't remember. Yeah. But anyway, they sent them somewhere, and they're still a thing today. They don't do the same things. Obviously, they're like a secret organization, kind of like the.
But that's always like that might be true, but also it might be true that on the boat they had a big storm and they all died. Like that. Yeah. That's no, but to me that's equally as likely.
They rebranded. Like, I think it's like a thing like that. They were the Templars at one point in time, and now they're like like the Freemasons.
Chase Bank.
Well, no, not quite the Chase Bank, But now they're like an organization like the Freemasons and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. I did not know anything about that. Actually, that's really interesting.
I know. I just thought the Templars were like Assassin's Creed, but undoubtedly they were like a real thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're a real thing. I just thought they were knights.
I didn't know they were real. They were knights. They
yeah,
were
but they also
knights.
had like I didn't know like the baking part of them.
Yeah, but they were like backed by the Pope.
I bet it'd be really cool to be one of those. A Templar.
No,
What?
you have to be celibate.
Oh, I bet all of them were.
Well, just say it. Like it's part of the rules. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, but like that. I bet some guy, in Jerusalem's like, hope the Pope doesn't find out. I've been in this brothel for weeks. Captain, do you think the Pope's gonna find out? He's like, are you gonna say something? No. Okay. Yeah, no.
No, but then they have to worry about somebody telling some king in France, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that would happen.
Yeah, busted him in the ass eventually is all I'm saying. It got to him.
That's so cool.
See, that's the great stuff you can find on just like random parts of YouTube.
No, I'm a
That came up suggested.
I would never watch that.
Before or after you will the saint doubt.
It was after the saint stuff.
Shocker.
Shocker.
Well, I mean, it was interesting. You never watched something like that?
No. Plus, how much of history do you guys think's fake? Or
All
not
of it.
fake,
A lot
not
of
fake, but altered.
So
It's all guessed at. A lot of it's guessed at.
I think
yeah,
like
a good part of it
98%
guessed at.
history is
But there's also
altered.
you have to altered, yes, but you also got to think of think of when someone tells a story, they hype it up to make it sound bigger than it actually is.
I feel like that's
history.
Yeah.
So what my thing is like, so the Trojan War and all that is not technically history because historians don't have enough. Like they have to go through like a process to say something's history. So the Trojan War and all that, like the whole people and the horses and all that, there's not enough evidence for people to say that happened. Like
really?
Historians, yeah. There's evidence for it, but there's not enough for us to say that happened.
I didn't know that.
So there's a lot of stuff
I also kind of thought it was a myth to begin with. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's been remarks of it once or twice. Like Alexander the Great mentioned it. However, none of evidence happened. However, in my opinion, I bet there was a war between like the Trojans and the Macedonians, wherever they were. I bet it did happen. However, to the degree it happened, no. I doubt they actually built a horse, put people in it. Did I think they might have snuck it into a camp and killed people? Mm-hmm. Probably. There's also the thing about like the not Circe, like the Persians being like, and like when Persia invaded Greece, I can't think of like the guy's name, but he was like, there were 9 million of the Persians. No. What it was some Greek scout looked over the horizon and saw 10,000 troops, more people he's ever seen in his whole life. Told his leaders there were so many, and eventually over time it becomes 9 million.
Right.
Was there 9 million? No. Was there a lot? Yeah.
See, that's what I was also wondering. Like, when we talk about battles and stuff from so long ago, I wonder how many people fought in these battles. Was like 1,000 people back in the day? Like,
I need to divide it by 2.
Like,
back in the day, yeah.
Well, I mean, like all these, like say Rome and their armies and stuff. Were they really that big?
Rome, yes, and we know that because Rome had like a good thing of writing stuff down. Like the legions, there were that many legions, and there were that many people in each legion.
Yeah, but they couldn't fabricate. Because you just talked about how our government hid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
the people.
Yeah, I guess they could. I guess they could
fabricate to make them look better.
Yeah, but usually it's like inside, like within their own government. It's not. There were no other the people that Rome fought. They couldn't fabricate. Like, there's no point in the Romans fabricating evidence because they can't read. So usually it'd be like Marcus Aurelius the Fifth took his 2 legions. It'd be a letter. Please take your 2 legions to Europe and kill all of them. Granted, it was the exact amount of number of people in each legion. No, it probably wasn't perfect. They probably missed some 10 or so people. But overall, I think a lot of that is probably correct because there's and we can read Latin. So it'd be like, oh, so this amount of people.
How is Latin a dead language? Do you know that?
It just turned into Italian.
Oh, okay.
The same way Old English is the dead language. No one speaks in Old English.
So
just over
people
time.
can speak Latin, but it's just by dead language they mean nobody uses
exactly
it to.
Yeah, that's what I mean by dead
Okay,
language.
so I always thought it meant like, oh, Latin's a dead language in the sense that nobody can speak Latin.
No, people can speak Latin.
Well,
You can take Latin in high school.
See, I don't know that. Can you?
In most high schools.
And like actual high schools, yeah.
And ones with more than 100 in your graduating class, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's the thing is because like originally Spain, France, I guess technically Gaul, but Spain, France, and Italy all spoke Latin, and over 1,000 years it's changed to Italian, French, and Spanish.
But pretty much everything's derived from Latin, so it would almost make the most sense if they forced everybody to learn Latin, and then all the other languages would be easier to learn.
Yeah,
Everything connects
that's what
better
it
if
is.
you know Latin.
I mean, like I just said, French, Spanish, and Italian are all pretty similar, especially French and Spanish. If you like look at it, it's actually English and German, surprisingly, who are like pretty separated.
The weird ones.
Or the weird ones because like they're so far away from Rome that most people there didn't speak Latin. I mean, like
Except for the Pope.
Yeah, like Italians were like the Italians, but the Romans were barely in England for that long. They were actually never in Germany because that's the whole point. Because they kept getting their butts kicked there. Yeah, it's crazy though.
Where's the Pope at? I'm sorry for my ignorance on
Rome.
that. Rome.
He lives in Rome. I didn't want to correct you when
right?
you said that. What? Vatican.
City?
Yeah. A country actually, smallest country in the world.
Mm.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
They have taxes there.
I don't know.
People don't live there, right? Isn't it just like the cathedral? Like,
like,
isn't the only
It's
thing
literally like the cathedral.
right?
But I mean, people live there.
So can
Like-
you go to war with the Vatican?
Maybe I don't know. Like that's no one. When you go to war with like Italy, you basically go to war with the Vatican though. I think just like for like on paper, it's like different.
Is Catholic still the biggest religion?
I have no idea. I bet it's Protestant. Maybe it is
I think
Catholic.
Christianity's the biggest.
Yeah. Christianity is.
I mean,
Shout out
like-
South America.
Like the main, like Christianity. You know how there's 40 million different,
Yeah.
but like
South America is like carrying that. By the way,
Dang Brazilians, man.
Brazilians, man. Shout out to Spanish. I bet there's more. Is there more Catholics or Protestants?
Christianity.
Yeah.
Islam is a
number-
close second
Yeah, it's like all the Middle East.
to
Wow.
non-religion. Hinduism's pretty high. Interesting.
You have to think.
Buddhists.
All right, Hinduism don't count because that's all of India.
That's true. That is true.
Think
It
about
still
it.
counts.
I mean, it still counts, but like it's literally just India and like 4 people in China.
So 31% of the world is Christianity, 25 is Islam.
That makes
There's 15% unaffiliated, 15% Hindu, 6% Buddhist, folk religions, whatever that means.
pagan. It's pagan shit.
Is that what Sikhism?
Shintoism.
What?
Shintoism is the Japanese religion.
Click that one, yeah.
No.
What is that one?
India.
Punjabi.
Oh, that's 6 or how you say it.
Oh, yeah,
I thought that was Islam.
No.
Oh, well, I'm ignorant.
However you say that. I don't
Yeah.
I might
But there is
butcher
two,
that.
like just like Protestants, there's 2 different types of Islam. There's like 2 different types. There's the one that we in the United States love, and the other one
Mm.
that's like relatively just just Islam people.
What's pagan? What does that mean?
It's a blanket term for things that pagan was used by like the Roman Catholic Church when like it's literally anything that wasn't Christianity in Europe. So like all the German religions that wasn't Christianity, like all like the
Norse
different
stuff?
the Norse stuff like in like Sweden and them, that was pagan. The German religions that are lost
like
to
the
time,
Druids and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
that's pagan. The religion in England was pagan too, whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically everything that
Wasn't Catholic.
wasn't Catholic in Europe at the time.
Interesting.
It was a very blanket term. It's like, oh, he's a pagan.
If we end up going to Rome, like the Colosseum.
Yeah.
11-minute drive from the Vatican. I don't think we could take Marlon to the Vatican. He'd burn up before he even got there.
Is it hot here? Marlon, it is 30 degrees outside. Are you sure? Oh, gosh.
Oh, man. And there's some crazy conspiracy theories around.
Oh, there's so much stuff about the Vatican. That's why I like those jokes. There's tunnels around the Vatican. There's so much. There's so much stuff.
Do you think the Catholics know more than you? Like, what's the craziest thing? What's the craziest conspiracy theory you've heard about the Catholics? Like, I've heard they've learned
I think them keeping the Christ bloodline, like the Jesus bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's the Holy Grail.
Yeah. Oh, just what Sparkles was talking to us about, how Jesus had a daughter or a son in the Roman Catholic Church,
the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, kept that bloodline pure. I don't think that's true. Just based on the fact of humans, the Roman Catholic Church would have to not alive at this point would have to find Jesus' son or daughter when he's still or her still alive, and lock him in a basement. And hope he doesn't get cancer or something, and continue that bloodline. I think the likelihood of that happening to this day is impossible. Maybe let's say hypothetically, the Roman Catholic Church after 100 years, actually 300 years, when it was created, was we have found Jesus' son. I mean, all right, that's cool, but then keep him alive for 1,500 years.
Do we know when Christianity was founded? So
technically,
technically, let me explain myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christianity wasn't just a thing. As soon as Jesus was born,
when it was no longer a cult?
Yeah.
So it officially became a religion, I think, when a Roman emperor had a dream before a battle. He was going to a battle. He was very he wasn't going to win it. He had a dream of Christ or something like that. I think it was crosses. Then he painted a cross on every one of his shields, went to the battle, and they won the battle. Then he went back to Rome and claimed that I am converted to Christianity. Christianity's now I'm the emperor, so you gotta do what I say. Everyone has to be Christian now.
Because
it is now no longer illegal. I'm a Christian.
It obviously developed from Judaism,
Yeah.
Basically the Old Testament and Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is all the same, and where they diverge is
different prophets.
Islam is Muhammad, Christianity is Jesus, Judaism just believes they're all crazy.
I think technically Moses. Is that the prophet for? There's 3 prophets. An Islamic
Abraham.
guy. Maybe it's Abraham.
Abraham had 2 sons. Hunter, you should be up on that one.
Yeah, but no,
and that's where it diverted.
Well, actually, I think it. I don't know if that's true. A lot of people have said that, the 2 sons, then they became Islamic. Islam came from the 3rd prophet. See, I had one of my friends at work explain to me because he's Islamic. He's I believe in Christ. I just believe that there was the 3rd.
Well, they all believe that Christ was a person. They just don't believe.
Yeah,
but he was the son of God.
Islamic people, I think that's also true, but Islamic people believe that he was a prophet, not the son of God, but he was the 2nd prophet, and of course Muhammad or whatever his name was the 3rd prophet, and the same way when Jesus came, the rules were overwritten from Judaism. The same way when Muhammad came, rules were overwritten again. That's what they think.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I still think it's I think it's so interesting. What are you looking at, Dave?
I'm going to send it to you.
All right. Well.
Anyway,
I lost my train of thought. Dang, we're doing so well.
It was Thoughty 2, THOUGHTY 2. What really happened to the Knights Templars? I'm going to share it to you.
Please.
Yeah. Very interesting. We'll listen. But
what do you think is the Roman Catholic Church's biggest secret or conspiracy?
I don't know. I think they know that aliens exist.
Oh, I bet once we figure out if aliens did exist, every big
just a big circle back around to the first topic.
Yeah,
you know?
like United States.
It's all over with then.
I 100% believe, like, let's say hypothetically we found aliens exist. Like, let's say like the whole like Roswell like crash happened. The first person we called was Russia, without a doubt. Yeah, we're like, hey, just want to double check. No reason. Don't ask any questions. You didn't happen to crash anything in Arizona, did you? No. Oh.
Well, nice.
Well, I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna call you in like 12 hours. Be next to the phone. Oh, speaking of the Russians, so one of my favorite like piece of like Cold War history is when the Russian president came to the U.S. I can't remember why he came to the U.S., but it was for like some like reason, you know. And we were like, so you know, in Russia or in USSR at the time, like, you know how you're starving? Check this place out. They went to a grocery store. They walked the Russian president through it, and the Russian president's like, oh, yeah, we have fake propaganda stores too. You're not special. You're not special. So after they go through the fake propaganda store, they're going back to like the hotel or something. The president's like, pull over right there. Go to that store. And I can only imagine the limo driver being like, the Kroger? Like, yes, the Kroger. All right. We go in the Kroger. He walks through it, and he's like amazed.
Really?
Yeah, he's amazed. He's like, apples in June? This is outrageous. Like, true story. And like, so he goes through it, and because lo and behold, the USSR did not have like fruits. It's not actually apples in June, but it was like October. It was like blueberries in October. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're kind of bad. I would actually go to the food line. They have better blueberries. Like, another store has blueberries? Like that's what it was. And like, it blew his mind. Like, I'm pretty sure you can see pictures of it. The guy's like eyes wide. It's like,
we have
it's like, what is this? Like, oh, this is cinnamon raisin bread. Yeah.
Your bread's flavored?
Like, you have more than one types of bread? Yeah, I like some bean personally. But some people, you know, like Wonder Bread. Psychopaths. It wonders? I mean, sometimes. So, like, and, like, they actually, like, some historians claim that he ended up, like, stepping down and denouncing the Communism Party. Mm-hmm. And some people think that him visiting that second non-propaganda, like, grocery store was the reason why he, like, stepped down and stopped being, like, with the Communist Party and, like, renounced them.
I'm so bad at history. I don't even know how the USSR crashed.
Broke.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. They didn't
who was the leader at the time?
I can't think. The reason I keep saying president because I don't remember. This is like the 80s. This is like right before. Was
Kennedy president then?
No.
That's 60s. I didn't even know 60s. That.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When 63, right?
We landed on the moon.
That was his assassination. Was it a 63?
I don't remember. Oh my gosh! I hate myself.
This is your category.
Who's on the $10 bill?
Alexander Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But the question.
Who's on the $2? Who's on the $2?
Congress.
No.
What?
I don't know.
Really?
It's Thomas Jefferson. Oh. I'm like 5% sure.
Do you think that if, say, the aliens did come?
Yes.
And for some reason,
you mean when they came?
It's for dominance. They're not here to make peace. They're here for dominance, right?
Yeah.
We would be there for dominance.
We would.
Does the world band together? How do you think that plays out? Does the world say we have to? So like one country can't win the alien war.
It came out that the whole entire world was secretly friends and we just mess with each other just to have something to talk about, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's the plot of 1984, Elliot. But yeah.
1963.
I love you, Hunter. What was it? Is it November, right?
Yep.
So I know the day, the date, the time. Just forgot the year.
Yeah, it was like 3
know
o'clock.
what he was wearing, the street name.
That street name was like a big deal because they weren't supposed to go down that street. Yeah.
Really? Is that why they think it was an inside job?
I have no idea, but they weren't supposed to. That wasn't originally part of the plan. Also, they told Kennedy, "Why don't we have like a roof?" Kennedy was like, "Nah." True, like it's fine. I want to see the people. It's a nice day out.
Got him. That's horrible.
Now they don't ask anymore. They tell. It's like, yeah, we're having a roof on these houses. Yeah, see, guys are like, well, Lundy Johnson, you will no longer see the outside of a car, or the inside, the outside of a car. Yeah.
Fun fact: I did watch.
Fun fact.
I've watched a video on their car, Secret Service car.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, everything.
Oh, I think I don't know if I saw a video, but I remember seeing like a stat list of like everything. This wheels, this like it goes on and on. I was like, that's a lot of taxpayer money. I don't care.
Like $1 million a piece.
Yeah, it's like I don't care enough about this guy to pay this.
So what's all in it then?
It's like so it's like top line Cadillac, of course, but the Cadillacs are all specially made. They're like bulletproof, gas proof.
All the metal, like you can't shoot out there are no gas leaks in these cars.
They're completely self-contained. They have their own oxygen. They have it's basically perfect.
Imagine Pimp My Ride times 10. All right, there's probably an Xbox in there, honestly.
They have like thermal cameras, night vision cameras. All of them have.
So like that tank I sent you the other day, but
yeah,
a Cadillac,
but better. Yeah.
There was like a Humvee or something on Tech's campus. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but then I looked at the top, and there's no 50 on it. I was like, "Lame." I was so hyped up. I was like out in front of like one of like Lavery or something.
Something's gonna happen.
I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, boo." I trust like a bunch of like 20-year-old Corps cadets to have a 50. I'm fine.
Oh gosh, it's so crazy to think about. Like most of the U.S. military is younger than you.
Oh, they're my age. They're not younger than y'all. I mean, they're younger than me. They're younger than you. Yeah, it makes you think. I mean, like, isn't like the average sergeant like y'all's age? Like 25,
sergeant?
26?
So if it's NCO,
that's not an NCO. I mean, like on the field type.
That's an NCO, non-commissioned officer.
Then who does
lieutenants are ones that come out of Virginia Tech.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways, like lieutenants are like your age.
Yeah, lieutenants are like coming out of Virginia Tech.
But some boot isn't. Like some like random guy is like 19.
Yeah.
19, 20. Scary to think about, but you know.
But like I think we hand them machine guns and like go to war. That's insane. I feel like
first of all, it is not war. It is military actions. Okay? Don't put that on us. All right? We haven't been in war in a while. Military operations.
Okay, Ricky.
No, that's literally what they're called. They're called military operations. So we get by with like, oh, technically Russia. Technically, we are not in a war. It is a military operation. Yes, we have a couple thousand troops there. What does that have to do with anything?
Numbers are just numbers. War is Congress.
Literally, that's what it's defined it.
Yeah, war is Congress.
I've always found it weird because the president can is the commander in chief. He can if I want like 1 billion troops at so and so place in Africa, he'd be like,
get there.
But you can't declare war.
I don't know how that works.
See, that's like.
Didn't we talk about that on the pod one time?
We probably
or was that
did,
like our personal? We taled about that at some point in time.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Maybe I'll do some research after I do the Knights Templars.
Find you a good video essay.
Yeah, I'll probably do that at work. Because I was talking to they're not gonna see this, but I got hired by my job officially. I think.
Passed the drug test.
Barely.
Miracle.
You
had to drink Gatorade for a week.
Weeks, man. Weeks. And I had to get monkey pee and everything. Know how expensive monkey pee is? More than you think. No, jokes aside. But, I was talking to someone in my class who was, also the exact same job as me. And I was like, so what am I doing? She goes, oh, Mom,
horrible.
It's terrible. It is so terrible. I was like, no. He's like, I spend most of my days napping. It was so boring. I was like, serious? He was like, yeah, no one watches me. I just sit there at my desk by myself, unattended, doing nothing. I was like, oh. So I can sit there and read about useless stuff about the first bank. She's like, I guess. I'm like, she said, I just got to on my phone. I was like, oh, you're joking right now.
Don't be messing with me, Ricky Bobby.
So I can write on my resume that I was also an intern and not do work at the same time. This is a win-win.
Win.
I'm excited though to get my job. You know.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That cat don't crack.
Gain experience.
Yeah, I had to tell my past company I wasn't coming back. See, I hated that place, but I really liked the engineers.
What'd they say? Are they sad or they care?
They just gave me a thumbs up.
Ah.
Like my boss, I'm on him with
Text
LinkedIn.
him. He
Text me literally like that. He was like, "Are you coming back? No hard feelings if you say no." And I was like, "Listen, we talked about this before I left. I received an offer that I could not refuse, and y'all could not back it up." And they gave a thumbs up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the engineers I worked there were like just so cool. But I hope maybe in this new place to be also cool engineers and not weird ones.
It's
a flip of a
gamble.
coin. It's a gamble.
You're already talking about engineers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You
That's
get
the
really
gamble.
cool ones, or
Yeah, I was curious because I also went to like one of the engineers that I really did like at my past job. I was like, let's go to his LinkedIn. I saw his GPA. It was like a C GPA. I was like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. Let's go to the other guy I don't like. 4.0. That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Correlation sometimes does equal causation.
Sometimes.
All right, well.
Yep, I think we're going to conclude the pod there. There was a very good conspiracy theory, religious based.
We do that a lot. Conspiracy theories,
We
I feel
haven't
like.
talked about any of this though.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm just like
No.
overall as a topic.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
it's interesting. I like it.
Indeed.
Yep. So we appreciate everybody for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you haven't, make sure to follow us on all the different podcast realms: Apple, Spotify. What's the other ones? I don't know. Anyway,
YouTube.
I digress. We will catch you all next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.
Peace.